Second presenter, which is Hildo Guillardi Jr. from the Sao Paulo State University in Brazil. And he'll be presenting the analysis of the electrical equipment at UNICAMP and the insight of the inventory database. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm Hildo, a professor from São Paulo State University, and also a former student here from UNICAMP. This context, I think, is very important for this work. So I will explain the context, the development, and discuss about the results that this tool get from through the UNICAMP. So UNICAMP have some projects active right now. The sustainable camps of UNICAMP, that is the oldest one, that this give the birth to the other project, that's the huge project now in UNICAMP, that's the center of São Paulo State Center for Transition Studies of Energy. This is a big center that we are trying to expand some contests that some studies that we just start here. But these specific studies that I'm showing now, they came up, the birth this was in the pandemics days that we are questioning what we could do to the university to improve the efficiency to the ambient use and the power efficiency here in the buildings. We have the data that most of the public buildings use almost half of the energy building to the budget of the building to pay the energy savings, so to pay the energy bill. So we have to come up with some results, some data of the university to what you could do about this. And the problem was that in the pandemic it was difficult to collect this data. The proposal was like get some farms filled with specialist guys in the buildings, but my proposal was attack the data that we already have in the university. So attack the inventory data. It was like the collection of all assets that we have here in university. Also, all that you could see here, even the chair, the table, as registered that in that asset inventory. So we was discussing what you could do about this. The proposal was to highlight the biggest building that was using more energy and how to attack this problem to get some saving in energy and also in money here in university. The development was really using automatic systems. So I myself developed a system that make all the procedures in automatic way. So I use some novel libraries like pandas, numpy, matplotlib to develop a system that analyzing the inventory asset came up with some statistics about the inventory, also made the automatic report that is updated monthly, and also once by semester sent an email to the administrator what you could do about this. The code is here. You can check in the paper. Also, the periodic results is available in this website. This data uses more than 7,100 registers. That is all the assets of UNICAMP, split in almost 150 units, administrative units of the UNICAMP. This building and the close to ones is like one unit. It's just the electrical engineering building, the administrative unit of electrical, but they also have 100 more. So this data that is specific in this result of this paper is dated in 28 May of this year. All other libraries that I had to use was Numba, that was a speed up library to save some time in this workflow, also to save energy in my server, and also Selenium, that is it's a library to manipulate the browser. That's a requirement to access the inventory database. It was not possible to access directly. It's allowed, but it's not too easy to get this access, also because of some security reasons. Bem, so some results about the most concern about this development was to come with some results about the air conditioning system. We analyzed this data and come up with some interesting results that UNICAMP has more than 20 years old equipments that call for urgent retrofit. This you can see the distribution of the purchase years and the average purchase years, that is 2009. Also, we can highlight here some Brazilian statistics that this is an interesting one, that is Procel stamp, was started in the equipment produced in 94, and is a stamp that the equipment came with the guarantee that that is the most efficient one or not. A is the best one, and D is the worst one. But you can see by the results that we also have between the data, the assets that have this kind of stamp, that A is the most present, but D is the second most present equipment here in UNICAMP. This came by the fact that to buy something here, it's a public requirement. You cannot just came with the equipment that we want. We have to specify exactly what they attend the specifications. So this highlight, they put some alert that you have to specify better this kind of a purchase to get best equipments. Also, we identify all the types of equipment to this category that they are conditioning, and we get that even the window one, that is the most oldest one type, that I think is not even more made by the industry, is much more present that we would like. This that have some reason, like when the building is made, they don't remove to put a new one because they could keep their hole. They don't put some to black the hole, but it's another problem that you have to analyze here in the buildings. Also, we have some other results of other equipment that is interesting to UNICAMP. That is the refrigerators. Refrigerators are important to UNICAMP because they are not just the drink fountains that we are using, but here because of the hospital, that is the biggest one here in region, and also because of the engineering fooding course, we have special fridges and special rooms of fridges that keep this course and this building running. These are special loads that we have to looking to improve UNICAMP efficiency. Also, we analyze computers. Computer, we don't have too much to talk because it's interesting to analyze that desktop, despite this is the most present, this is the most volatile one in the university. They are replaced with a lot of frequency. The research replace professor by a new one, that oldest one is just receive a treatment that is not used anymore. But here we can analyze some specific kinds of computers that are the workstations and other computers that keep the infrastructure running in UNICAMP. That we know that workstation and server responds to 2,000 computers, 200 computers. Also, UPS and the auto transformer, that's some kind of equipment that's sometimes you use to supply this kind of computers, mainly to servers. We have some representation here, and we know that this kind of auto transformers was older kind of equipment that was required here in Brazil to stabilize the voltage of the suppliers, the main supplier, the outlets. But today is not used so spread anymore. So we could make some kind of a retrofitting, no, but we call of this kind of equipments. But also you can analyze that there is important UPS equipments to supply that servers one. This you can analyze that are not just correlate to computer, but in the full result that's not present here in the paper, but in that website, it's also correlated to the hospital. So we also have the insight that are correlated to equipment, the hospital equipment that is a specific one that cannot be in some issue of energy supply. Also, internet routers that keep the infrastructure running. But here we highlight some interesting facts that these two peaks corresponds to the year that the infrastructure of Wi-Fi here in UNICAMP have a big spread out. Like the EI.A was not present so much before, but here was the year that the EI.A spread to all the campus. Also, because of these results, we could specify, we had a feeling, not just a feeling, but some results, but now we have sure that these are the 10 biggest units of UNICAMP in energy consumption. You have hospitals, computer center, of course, because they keep also our infrastructure running, but also the food engineering course because of the fridges, the mechanical science, the medical science, mechanical, the hospital, it's the 61, it's not the biggest one, but the biggest are also a hospital, a special hospital. The hemocentro, that's the blood center here. The biology, that also keeps some special room for biological samples. The physical institute, that is interesting because these are one institute that you are now treated as a special case, because we diagnose that have the oldest air conditioner present in UNICAMP. Other results that we could arrive with this tool, we could highlight what to do to get a better UNICAMP, to get efficient. And because of this data, not just this data, but we could go up 35 position in 2021 and 10 more position in 2022 in the Green Metrics World University ranks. Also, because of these statistics, we could implement a program of retrofit in air conditioning, and we start with 40 million, and I think now it's in exactly 20 million reais in investment to retrofit in air conditioners. Also, I could highlight to you that here in the special results that is running by month, I could affirm to you that just here, that is electrical engineer course, we have almost 500 air conditioning systems. So this is more like a series of discussion for you. What's UNICAMP, what are trying to do to get a better UNICAMP. This project is running, and I think in January it will really start to replace the air conditioning system to better ones. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the nice presentation. So any questions? We have time for a couple of questions.
Thank you for a very nice presentation. It's a lot of effort that you have put into making this inventory. right? I mean, a lot of time. So how do you ensure you keep it updated and, you know, make sure that it stays up to date and all records are correct and so on? I mean, there's a lot of work also in the future.
Thank you by the question. This asset inventory is not keep for me, it's the institutional one. They have some procedure to enter with a new register that is not up to date so much. Like you have some months of delay because of the paperwork, really the paperwork. But you can be confident of the results of at least 6 or 1 year later. If you see like this graph, air conditional, it's delayed by 1 or 2 years, but we can make sure that this 20 or 21, 20, now that's at the end of 23, I think 22 is a confident data. But the 23, I make sure that I have almost sure that's missing some data that is because of the paperwork of register the equipment. If you check the assets here in UNICAMP, we have like a little board, a little stamp that mark a number and the kind of equipment, even the chairs that you are seated. So you can see this is registered in this asset inventory. I use that data to scrap all this information.
A follow-up question. So there's a delay, I mean, administratively delay from you have purchased something after probably public tender, I think you said, and then it comes in. But I mean, from the time you have installed, I mean, when maybe you change all the air cons in the building here, so you install it. So you say there can be 6 months to a year before it then shows up in the inventory. Because then my question here is, okay, so when you look up a building and you want to inspect the energy consumption in the building and you want to see what equipment or devices are in the building, it's not necessarily reflected in the inventory.
Exactly. The tool is updated 1 by month with the data that is in the inventory. But to the data get in the inventory, maybe a 6 month. It's not sure, depends of the administrative building. That's guys different of the other guys with a lot of paperwork. But in some buildings, yes, I could say to you that 6 months is the time that you have to wait.
At least we know.
Just to comment that there are a lot of very beautiful procedures that everybody should follow in the university, but in many schools and units, it's not usually followed. So, for example, if a professor has a project and has money from extra budgetary money, he can buy air conditioners, he can contract a company to install, and this equipment can stay there for years, and it's not part of the inventory. So I have also equipment that are in the inventory, but they're not anymore in the room. The equipment was replaced and was not eliminated in the inventory. So there are problems of every types. We have to develop here an expertise to work with incomplete database and corrupted database. But before this work, nobody could say how many air conditioners we had in UNICAMP. So we started to do this because we want to design a retrofitting project, and we don't know how to do it. So probably we'll have a lot of errors in this report and this analysis, but some way it reflects part of the reality in the university. Now we have a company to start the retrofitting process, but they have to go room by room to check up the situation of their conditioners, and also provide some report so that you can improve the inventory database as well. There's also not a standardization in the schools. They put different names for the inputs. It's very, very complicated to use this in a very efficient way, but still, it's a diagnosis. It's a report that puts everything together, can give us some partial view of the reality.
Yes, about this kind of problems, some problems we could not eliminate, but deal with the issue. Like the air conditioners that are not installed, usually they are moved into the database to a virtual administrative unit that is called bens disponíveis, like available items that is not installed. So I eliminate from this. I have other analysis of this. But some problems is still present, like that one that's not registered. I cannot do nothing about. Other problems, that is the kind of a typing that the administrative guy used to register, like sometimes they register a split, like a split air conditioner. Sometimes they register like a conditioner part of the split one and evaporator part of the split one. So I have to merge this to count as a unique system. Yeah, I think I developed some knowledge of a database after this.